Welcome to the table. My name is Max. This is Tablenauts, and this is episode 4, I think, of my congratulations, you played your shelf, or shame no more, whatever. This is where I give you some first impressions on some board games that have been on my shelf for quite some time, or have been games that I've recently purchased without having also sold games. Different kind of shame, but, still a shame. Or if you want to call this a shelf of opportunity, whatever, that may be the best way to go about it. But today, I've got 2 games that I was able to play. I know this video is a couple days later than you've been used to it coming out the past couple weeks, but in case you did not know, I just had my 3rd daughter. We just got home today from the hospital with my 3rd daughter. Very excited, glad that everyone is healthy and everything went well. So things may be a little strange for a little bit of time, but hopefully it won't interrupt anything too awfully bad. So, starting off today, we've got a couple games on the lighter side, I would say. This is a game that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It's been on my cart for a while, but I just never actually bit the bullet and purchased. But this is Reiner Knizia's The Quest for Eldorado. Some first impressions on Reiner Knizia's The Quest for Eldorado. If you do not know what this game is, it is a racing game in which you're racing through the jungle, basically searching for Eldorado. I played this at 4 players with my wife and parents. First time. This game is a deck builder, but probably the simplest deck builder I've ever played, and that's not a bad thing. The way the market works, it's unlike Clank, where you've got kind of just a random drawn market, and instead it's a fixed market, where you have the same 6 cards available at the start of every game, and the same, I don't know how many, 12 cards that aren't available just yet. When you exhaust a slot in the permanent market, the next person to buy something pulls those down into the market. So when there's a slot open, it's an open market, you can buy whatever you want. And then once that slot is filled, it's again a closed market with just what's available for you. So it's very interesting. It changes things up quite a lot. And it's obviously more, it's a little more strategical and a little less luck-based. I don't have any problem with the way that Clank does things and the way that other deck builders do things. I've never played Dominion, but I believe that the way Eldorado works is similar to Dominion with kind of a fixed market. A super simple game. Basically, your cards have very few abilities as far as you can use it to go through the jungle, you can use it to go through the markets, and you can use it to go through the rivers. That's almost it. You've got some other cards that are a little more flexible that can be used for everything, but they cost more money in the market. Whatever. Super simple deck builder racing game, which I honestly don't know that I've ever played a racing game. I mean, every game's a race to X amount of victory points or filling up your tableau or whatever it may be. Not every game, but most games. But not a strict first person to get to this area wins the game. My father kicked our butts. He definitely played that quite nicely, quite well. I think we're all looking forward to get back into it. This plays in, 60 minutes or less. Maybe, what's the box say? The box says 60 minutes. I would say that, why every time I record a video, Windows Defender's like, hey, I would say that this does probably take just about 60 minutes or less even, especially if it's your first time through. With that being said, we did just play on the quick setup map. The map is modular. That's one of the big kicks for this game. You've got different tiles that you can kind of expand, make longer, make shorter, make more different and more difficult. So I'm excited to try those out. But for our first game, we just used the standard quick setup guide. Really enjoyed this game. In fact, I was doing my top 10 game rankings. I posted a little blurb about them on Twitter. And this actually made it into my top 10, which I can't allow. I'm not going to allow that. I've only played it one time. It can't go into my top 10. But just with how quick it played, I thought it was really fun. I'm really looking forward to trying it again. I don't know that I want to get the expansion or the Golden Temples. If you're interested in this game, there's a few different options. I think most people just recommend the base versions. That's what I'm going to stick with for a while. But super excited to get this back to the table. I've also heard it plays great at 2, which I'm looking forward to trying out. So that is Reiner Knizia's The Quest for Eldorado. Now, the next game I've played is actually well and true a Shelf of Shame game. It's been back here behind me for a while now. and finally got a chance to play it. Now, I mentioned this is going to be on the lighter side. This game, and this may be showing my hand, you may get what game it is by this point, has two versions, a family mode and just a normal mode. And we just played 2-player with the family mode. I fully intend to experience it with more player counts, with a higher player count, and also with the standard rules. But right out the gate, we just played it at a 2-player count. And this is, a bigger game. This is the Isle of Cats, and this is designed by the City of Games, or Frank West. This is a polyomino drafting game in which you are attempting to fit as many cats on your board as you can before basically a pirate witch person comes and destroys the island. It's kind of morbid when you think about it like that. It seems like a pretty cat game, and really, some cats will die, unfortunately. But we really enjoyed this. It's, again, super simple. We just play with the family rules. Very simple, though. You've got a boat. Your boat has some rooms and also some rats on it. To not get negative points at the end of the game, you want to cover up your rats, and you also want to try and fill in all your rooms. The game consists of 4 rounds in which you're drafting, or you're just pulling 8 cats out of the bag. And then going back and forth, choosing one, drafting one to place on your board. Each person has a little different hidden scoring objective for the end of the game. And other than that, you're basically just trying to create families of cats, which is like a cluster of 3 or more for your points. Cover up your rats, fill your rooms, and also treasure can also be gotten in a few different ways. Super, super simple, but really fun. I really, really enjoyed both of these games. And again, I like that I haven't experienced all they have to offer. I only had a chance to play these one time. I would love to have played them more to give you more feedback, but I might do a proper review on both of these if given the opportunity. They both have a little bit more than I was able to experience with the modular boards, and this one just with the whole different subsect of rules and also playing at a higher player count. I really, really, really liked both of these games. We probably finished this in 45 or 60 minutes, and probably the same here. Teach withstanding, but the teach wasn't too difficult on either of them. So that is The Isle of Cats by Frank West and City of Games, and The Quest for Eldorado by Reiner, Knizia, and Ravensburger. If you have any opinions on these games, let me know. I'm gonna hopefully get a couple games off my shelf of shame for next week. I don't know why I'm talking in a high voice, but like I said, things might be a little different because we just got home with our 3rd child, a newborn baby girl. So things may be a little different for the next couple of weeks as I kind of get used to how that's going to change things up and how I can work my full-time job and parenting and playing games and Tablenauts into that equation. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. So I hope that I can get a couple games ready for next week as we talk more Shelf of Shame games. I also probably need to do an acquisition video because, spoiler alert, I've bought a lot of games. Anyways, we'll see you next time. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I will be back with more Shame games. See you then.